Hello, dear friends. The global financial reset is likely to be accompanied by a debt Jubilee. Opinion piece: debt amnesty. Last resort. Necessary Jubilee. All holistic approach. Historic solution. Great global project. Let's start. Debt Jubilees could return with a vengeance with unbearable levels of government, corporate and personal debt. A debt Jubilee is coming as the world teeters on the brink of financial collapse, rights awake in 3D. Debt Jubilees can be an effective way to promote economic and social development in indebted countries by allowing them to allocate more resources to domestic investment and poverty alleviation programs, rather than to external debt repayment. The warning signs are clear. Be prepared for turbulent times ahead. The solution would be to combine a gold and commodity-backed currency with a debt Jubilee. It would be introduced as a last resort before a global financial collapse. However, it would be a bad idea without a gold-backed financial reset. A debt Jubilee is a measure that involves the massive cancellation of debt owed by a country or entity to its creditors. Broadly speaking, a debt Jubilee seeks to alleviate the debt burden when the burden is deemed to have become unsustainable or unfair to the debtor. In international relations, a debt Jubilee involves a negotiation between debtor countries and creditors, which may be other nations or international financial institutions, such as the IMF or the World Bank. Problems: while debt Jubilees can provide temporary relief, a more sustainable approach is to adopt a monetary policy backed by gold and commodities worldwide. By combining a debt Jubilee with a return to sound monetary principles, governments could achieve a lasting solution that addresses the root causes of the crisis. A gold-backed currency would restore confidence, provide stability, and avoid the rampant inflation associated with unchecked money printing. Moreover, combining debt forgiveness with a commodity-backed system would ensure a more equitable redistribution of wealth, avoiding the pitfalls of simply shifting the burden from one party to another. By adopting such a holistic approach, governments could not only alleviate the immediate debt burden, but also establish a basis for long-term economic stability, prosperity, and a resilient global financial system. Precedents: in ancient times, in some societies, periodic debt remission was practiced, where debtors' financial obligations were cancelled after a certain period of time. Today, debt Jubilees are often negotiated in the context of developing countries' debts. The history of debt Jubilees is one of grand gestures. The Old Testament called for a trumpet to be blown on the 10th day of the 7th month every 50 years, and for debts to be cancelled and all bondage to be revoked. After the Second World War, in 1953, a large part of Germany's foreign debt was cancelled. The rulers of ancient Babylon used debt Jubilees to prevent social upheavals caused by overwhelming debt, caused by crippling debt. In 1792 before Christ, King Hammurabi of Babylon cancelled all debts owed to the government and its officials. Jubilees redistributed wealth and acted as safety valves for social pressure. The practice spread through different civilizations, even recognized in the book Leviticus. Signals: consumer debt is reaching unbearable levels and serves as a clear warning sign. Rising interest rates make servicing record debt increasingly challenging. As interest rates rise, the burden of servicing this record debt becomes increasingly unsustainable. A debt yibelí could be part of the strategy to restart the system. In the face of an impending financial meltdown, governments often resort to drastic measures to restart the system. While the details remain ascending, a debt yibelí of biblical proportions could play an important role in the strategy. The current state of the global financial system, marked by sky-high debt levels and the possibility of a meltdown, requires a comprehensive solution. To avoid the appearance of default, they can apply a stealth solution: inflation. Inflation disproportionately benefits debtors. Reset News. Storm Rider comments: as the monetary collapse continues, the leaders plan to expose the system. As we head into the global tribulation of the exposure of the dark side, the clique is in panicking and trying to censor the world and bringing a new false flag event, but game theory operations are in place behind the scenes. The biggest sting operations in history are unfolding inside the global storm. A disruptive event is expected. They delivered satellite phones to the Senate for the upcoming communication blackout event. General King issued a warning, in quotes: China will strike in a massive way using cyber capabilities to defeat the power grid, oil and gas distribution, and even the financial sector. Close quotes. All this comes as Russia makes its BRICS alliance and tells the coalition that it will arm them if they wish to join forces against the Western regime. The Department of Health and Human Services says it has spent $290 million on a drug to treat radiation in the event of a nuclear emergency. As we enter the scare event, it is important to remember that there are back channels connecting the White Hats. WHO updates list of critical drugs for nuclear emergencies. They are planning to shut down the internet to cause great chaos. A civilization event is expected to happen in the next few months. A year and a half after the Great Collapse, the Golden Age will begin in the years 25, 26 and 27. Free energy will be revealed and a new era will begin. The power of the divine plan is beyond humankind's conception. All that you are seeing is staged. This includes the dark side pushing their agenda, but it will backfire. This is called game theory operations. You are at the beginning of the great global project leading to a golden age. But for now, we are inside the collapse of the power structures. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.